Well, only half the races were muddy. I'll tell you what, I was so happy to get there and see the sun pop out. The track was pretty good.
Yeah.
But then to see it pour rain, oh my God. I knew it was coming. Everybody knew it was coming, but what are you going to do? I got half them over with anyway. I was talking to David. I said, I said there was 2 horses raced yesterday, but I didn't give everybody an update. My synopsis on Lonely Lakewood, my synopsis on Born to Dance. I was too busy rambling about other things. I didn't get the crux of the video done. So when it comes to, we'll talk about our 2 today and our 2 last night. Obviously, Born to Dance race good, and that's what it's like. I was just saying when we were on our way over here, what it's like to race in the right class, right? If you're 8-1 with Born to Dance last night, 2-1 shot lands on the front, you can get in the 3-hole, which means your first over is staying in the whole way, or you can continue on to the front and control the race. At 2-1 or 3-1, I can do that. At 8 or 10-1, I can't. It just ends up you being parked, and that's it. So, and that's why it's so important to be able to race. Because even if Born to Dance isn't as good last night, I can control the race a little bit with him and probably find myself to the winner's circle. But he has to be at his best to overpower the one on the front, and then the one that would have been in the 2-hole is a longer shot anyway. So it's just very, very important to have the right horse for the right class, right tool for the right job. And Born to Dance fit that class great. Now he does have to exit that class. I think he can survive graduation. How's that? I think he can do the next class up. He's been racing good. He's been putting good performances together. He's not pulling. He really respects you. Where's that dog chain that was? I told you. Did you get a chance to jog him when you were here?
I did.
Yeah, with the chain on. Nice horse.
Yeah.
Without the chain, see you next week. He's he can really, really, really pull. So now eventually those chains also are a learning tool too. I wouldn't doubt in a couple of starts we could just take that off and he would understand and respect the bit a lot more. But man, different horse with it on. And as I said, once I got to the front, I was able to control the race. Now, he almost got himself in trouble last week. I waited until the horse got to me last week and then tried to start him up, and he near ended up getting himself collared. Whereas last night, I heard Aaron come, and I looked. I could see that it was going to be Aaron first over. His horse a little bit longer odds. I waited a little bit less time than I did last week to start him up, but still waited a little bit. And then once I fired him up, he paced hard around the turn. Coming out of the turn, he kind of dogged it down to the wire a bit, but I don't blame him. It was a good race. Horse won easy and raced well. He's going to face some stiffer competition moving forward, but at the same token, I think he can, as I said, I think he can graduate. He can do well in the next class, maybe. Lonely Lakewood, man, the entire Oak Grove experience and experiment was a colossal failure for the racehorses this year. I ill-equipped Eric and Kathy to do their job properly with these horses. They were just the wrong horses for the wrong classes. I sent okay horses down to race against good horses, and we got demolished in Kentucky at Oak Grove with the aged horses. I didn't think Lonely Lakewood raced bad yesterday. I know Joey said after the race, he said, Eric, I should have stayed left. Yeah, in hindsight, you should have stayed left. It's not his fault. He got the horse out moving. The flow just stalled. But it looked like he had some pop, and Eric said the track has been horrendous down there the last week or so. And, I thought the horse trotted well, but, again, you can't put together miles every 2 weeks, racing a horse every 2 weeks. He will, I did tell Eric, to be fair, because I know Eric puts a lot of work into these horses. I said, listen, it's not like he's going to come up and we have horses for the numbers of 2 and 3 right here at the Meadows right now. We have horses in Northfield for the numbers of 2 or 3. Scioto, again, he's a Pennsylvania horse. He's not going to have preferences. He's going to get in right away. These are all things that are weighing on me. And as I said to Eric, just enter the horse for next week. If he doesn't get in, then that's it. Because shortly thereafter, the cavalry will arrive. Arson will be there, Memory and Imagination, shortly after the Courier Knives, I think it is. And Pickpocket, hopefully after the Good Times. He'll arrive also, those 3, and we'll send 4 2-year-olds down because hopefully they'll be qualified after Sunday afternoon. We can't race them all in Pennsylvania and Ohio. There's going to have to be horses move around. And if we have horses that are Kentucky eligible, that are Kentucky staked, and good enough to be in Kentucky, we'll simply just wait, qualify them now. There'll be a race for them at some point in the next week or so, and they'll be down where they're going to start their stake racing. So it makes the most sense in the world that they're down there anyway. So that's what's going to take place moving forward in regards to Lonely Lakewood. So where? I could take him here. I could take him to Northfield, and I know that Nick and Bob Lems are still looking for us. We never did send a horse to Minnesota yet. And I just wanted, now that they've started racing, we get a lay of the land. Questions are simple. How tough's the numbers? A 2, 3, 4 trot? How often do they get in? Are they getting in regularly? And obviously, what are they racing for? I already know they're racing for good money in Minnesota. So the first 2 questions are the most important. How tough is the competition? And how often are they getting in? Are they getting in? If they're getting in regularly and he is very competitive, then it's very likely. Then we'll just ship Lonely Lakewood right to Minnesota and race him in the hours of 2, 3, and 4. And to I had a lot of people saying, well, I think this horse should be in the Stallion Series. Why? Why would I race a horse in the Stallion Series that just trotted in 59, that just trotted in 59 in Kentucky? He's not a Stallion Series horse right now. He could be a very effective overnight horse, but we have to get him moving. You can't race him every 2 weeks and expect good things to happen. They're not thoroughbreds. You just can't do it that way. So, Born to Dance was great. Lonely Lakewood, I thought, mechanically, he looked fantastic. And I'm going to disregard the time because Eric did say the track was bad, but pretty hard to disregard the 6th. So I'm going to look for a little bit more and hope for a little bit more from him moving forward. At the very least, he gets back in 7 days and we get a better look at him, truly, who he is, what he is. At the very least, he doesn't get in and we put him on a truck. And I think, I personally, now depending on the information I get from Nick and Bob, that would be my front runner, would be Minnesota. My 2 cents. So that's where we're at with those 2. Now, on to today. I told you guys I was not looking forward to racing in the mud, but was very much looking forward to racing 2 of the horses that I like. One, because he's a little quirky, he's fast, and I've grown to really like the horse. And the other one because she's just a competitor and a likable horse. And you know, any horse that recovers from the injury she had last year will get and deserves to get all the respect in the world. So, looking at Lover's Play, I didn't really care what happened. I just wanted her to behave and have a good race. I did not want to be first over again, but when I looked forward, I knew who was trying to flush me first over, the favorite, the one I had to beat. I don't like towing favorites up into the race and doing the heavy lifting for them. It's not really one of my favorite things to do. But when I looked up and saw Aaron's horse all over the track and kind of drifting and loose lining, it just looked to me like he was pretty vulnerable on the front end. So I did pull her first over, and I didn't come slow. I came hard with her. Cleared to the lead around the last turn and just kept the pedal to the metal to the wire. You might say, well, it was only 1:58. It's a good mile. She won. You know, for the people out there that don't have anything nice to say about Lover's Play, well, I guess you just don't like horses, because she is a lovable, tough filly that absolutely fits now and will fit for quite a while at the Meadows. I like her, and she, as I said, you just, to understand the backstory of this filly, there's no reason not to like her. She does good every single week. Yeah. You know, her last time she missed a check is when we brought her back from Kentucky. She was another disaster that we made breaks in Scioto, made a break. It was my fault in Kentucky. I left too hard with her and put her on the run in the first turn. And then she'd run on Johnny and qualify and then run again. And it was just, it was a all the good sayings have swear words in them, so I can't use them.
She seems to overcome adversity, though. So
yeah, yeah, she's a nice filly, and so Lover's Play raced great. Lover's Play raced great, and then Ready for Landing, man, good. You know what I like about him? I post-paraded him now. The track had just poured. The track is quite muddy. And when I post-paraded him, he did make a couple of breaks. Running the turn. He wasn't super agitated, but he was being a little rude. So I scored him down hard, got him on his toes, put his attention where it belonged. I let him walk for a second before he went to the gate, and he behaved. Went up to the gate, trotted right out of there. Now, I knew somebody was coming. I was hoping it was Mike Wilder, but it wasn't. It's Jeremy coming with one of the castaways there. I looked, I'm like, of the horses around me, except for Mike, I knew that one of the other horses had made a break leaving the gate. I'm thinking, all right, Jeremy's horse, I know it took a little money, whiskeyed my way or something. I knew he took a little money, so I wasn't too concerned. But as we came around the turn, and now again, the biggest thing about Ready for Landing was how behaved he was. Made front, I just let him coast over the front. I knew there was a horse coming. He sat him a little bit. He saw the horse coming, and he let him go to the front and sat. He was content to sit. But we started in the backstretch. I know Mike Wilder is somewhere there. I could see he was back in 5th or 6th, and that thing could fly.
Yeah.
Back in 5th and 6th, coming to in front of the grandstand. And I'm thinking, the horse on the front is done now. If I get pinched and I have to move him getting into the turn, he might make a mistake. He might get twisted around, get a little hot, and run. He could do something like that.
Yeah.
So I simply just moved him over and let him trot past the leader. And I said, at the very least, I get a jump on Wilder. At the very most, I get the jump I need on Wilder. Anyway, I could hear somebody coming in the last turn. I knew who it was. And he collared him, blew right by him. Now, I was a tiny bit disappointed he didn't put up a little bit more of a fight. I was very happy with his mechanics. I was very happy with his attitude in the race. I was happy with how he behaved at the gate. He's turned into a much more well-rounded horse than he had been very quickly also. He did everything right. I wish I had seen a little more fight from him. When I watched the replay, the hobbles were very tight. The ropes themselves, these ropes, they're almost unbreakable. What they will do, a good set of scissors, like good set of strong scissors,
Yeah.
you cut into that rope 5 or 6 times, those scissors are dull. That's how strong it is. But what it does do, I think, with the weather is it expands and then in turn shrinks up. We make those hobbles at 66 inches loop to loop. I make them myself. We just measured the hobbles on Ready for Landing. They were 59 loop to loop.
Huh.
That's quite a difference. Now you can let the hobbles out. Like, I'm not saying, well,
Right.
It's not like we had the hobbles in the same hole last year as we have now. I change them as I see fit in the race leading up to the race. So if I score them down and they're really, really tight, I'll just simply let them out underneath. It's not really a big deal. But the ropes themselves being shorter, it does constrict a little bit. And I felt when I watched the replay on him and on Flashfly last week, I thought they were a little constrictive. So I had simply went in the barn. You watched me. I went in the barn,
Yeah.
cut all the ropes off,
Yeah.
and we made the hobbles again. Now, I had one end of the rope at left. That was enough to make the hobbles 61.5. But Flashfly wasn't at 58, so I left them alone for now. I might replace them after. We'll see how she races next week. I don't like tinkering with the ropes that way, but it is longer than the rope she had on the other day, so at the very least, she's got an extra 3.5 inches to work with. But Ready for Landings were at 59. I let them back out to the proper 66, and should be much better now. So that is what took place today so far. Now I am getting back. I'm going to get back to Northfield a little bit late. I can't drive in race 1 or race 3. Race 4 is going to be nip and tuck, but I will be there for Jason's horse, PL Jericho. I will be there for our horse, Sweeney, on the 14th, and I think I'm going to drive later on in the card also. So I'll be driving the rest of the races tonight, the rest of the night at Northfield Park. But today is mostly over. Very, very happy with Lover's Play. She raced great. And also happy, I would give Ready for Landing an A- today. He did everything right. I just would have liked to see a little more fight come to him when that filly came by. I would have liked to see him grab up. But again, he might have been a little tuckered out from tackling the horse on the front end down the backstretch. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but I am going to give him an A- overall. He was good today. Could have been a little bit better, but was good. So with that, I'm going to let you go. You get 2 videos now today. I'm not giving you another one. You're going to have to watch Sweeney race, and we'll talk about him tomorrow. But for now, we're all done racing. Good luck to my partners tonight with No Free Lunch and with Sweeney, and good luck to Jason's horse, PL Jericho, in the races tonight. Did you see Joey win last night? Did you get to know Joey at all?
Yeah.
I'm so happy for him, mate.
Oh, yeah.
This is his first lifetime win.
It's about time.
Yeah.
It's about time.
But good for him. We're happy to see him win. He's a really, really nice guy. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, Joey Cramp, you'll see him training the babies sometimes. He's worked for us for 2 years. Really, really nice guy. His dad, Joe Cramp, is there also. And Joey got his license, and that was his first pari-mutuel win last night with his own horse. I was really happy for him. So, congratulations to Joey. For those of you that are my partners on Lovers Play and Ready for Landing, congratulations. A good day at the office, so to speak. And for my partners on Sweeney, good luck tonight. Take care. I'll talk to you all soon.